Greetings to everyone, all our brothers and sisters across the world. Wishing you all a wonderful, happy 2021. Happy New Year, green morning, green afternoon, green evening, wherever you are. Indeed, it's such a pleasure to have all of you with us on this wonderful journey, which is related to water management strategies, innovations, creativity, whatsoever is there under the dynamic and dedicated leadership of Mr. Anil MANOCHA ji, who is our senior advisor to the chamber with regard to water management. Ladies and gentlemen, जल संरक्षण की जब हम बातचीत कर रहे हैं, we have got a very distinguished guest today, Mr. Sanjit Sapra. He is with us. He is the MD and he is the CEO, Aquanomic Systems Limited. So hearty welcome to him, hearty welcome to all of you. And let me just flip through some slides so that we all are together. On behalf of ICSI, International Chamber for Service Industry, the link between India and NRIs and Indian corporate houses, we extend a very warm welcome. And our Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, all of us together. Today there was a curtain raiser on Parvasi Bharatiya Divas, and tomorrow is the inauguration by Honorable Prime Minister in the morning, and the dedication and the topic and the theme is contributing to Atmanirbhar Bharat. So tomorrow the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, will inaugurate the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, and Dr. S. Jai Shankar and V. Muralidharan ji would be there from the Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, and the valedictory of this will be done later by Shri Ram Nath Kovind ji, the Honorable President of India. And the main two themes which has been taken, it's a virtual summit. The main two themes which has been taken while making Atmanirbhar Bharat, they are talking about, first is role of diaspora in Atmanirbhar Bharat, and number two, facing post-COVID challenges, scenario in health, economy, social and international relations. So that is what has been done. And there are 5 curtain raisers, including today's meeting, which has taken place. Our Punjabi Parvasi Divas has come a long way. It started on, on 13th of January, 1994, and we are coming a long way. And this year, we also are having virtual Punjabi Parvasi Divas. That is on the Lohri Day, 13th of January, when we are going to have deliberations. And the best part is, if I share with you, you will be surprised to know that this program is going to be the longest Parvasi Divas. How? I'll share in a little while. We are focusing on educators and youth and the global wellness. And what we are doing is, this Parvasi Divas, when we talk about, this is the 27th Punjabi Parvasi Divas. Empowering Punjab, where we are talking about education, skills, micro, small and medium enterprise, health, wellness, and water management. These are the areas which are going to be covered. Sector Skill Council of the Wellness, they are the part with us. And ladies and gentlemen, I wish to share with all of you, holistic education is what India and particularly our chamber is now focusing on. We are taking it ahead. The water crisis, when we talk about, it's very important to be understood. And at the same time, water saving is our concern. Every drop of water, it makes a difference to us. And we want right from our schools, our colleges, our institution, there should be a saving of the water. At residence also, we should save water. And this all is possible when you do the women empowerment, because they play a very important role. Our chamber is in your service 12 hours in a day. And that's the way we are working on. And we are planning, and they are now 30 webinars per week. We are increasing the frequency. It's going to be 30, webinars every week. Tomorrow is a very important day. You will have from Chicago all the way, where 11th of September, 1893, Swami Vivekanand ji delivered historic kind of a vision and a talk that was sisters and brothers of the universe, and everybody started looking, who is this man? So, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow we will have Pravrajika Alka Gauri ji. She's a lifetime worker with Vivekananda Kendra, Kanyakumari. Then tomorrow evening, 8 p.m., we will also have non-resident Indians program that's being brought to by the ICSI with the help of Mr. Ravi Kant Pathakji. Then on 12th of January, there is a National Youth Day. That's a birthday of Swami Vivekanand ji. So on 12th of January, we will be having a special program channelizing youth power for the nation building. And then there's a new series starting from coming Sunday. There'll be 6 programs, and that is Monday to Saturday, and that's going to be 16 संस्कार की सीरीज कि हमारे जीवन के 16 संस्कार क्या होते हैं, गर्भाधान से लेकर अंत्येष्टि तक ये क्या क्या संस्कार होते हैं. This is a research we would like to share with whole world and globally tell everybody that the world has moved to the new order now. Your basic food, your basic health, your basic education, B2B, back to basics is very important, and sustainable development. So whatsoever human mind can conceive and believe it can achieve, let's come together, let's make education relevant for all of us. Wishing you all a wonderful Happy New Year. This evening, under the dynamic and dedicated leadership of Anil MANOCHA ji, who is Executive Director, Icon Exchange Asia Pacific Limited, Singapore, and along with him, we have got a very distinguished guest, Mr. Sanjay Sapra, the Managing Director and CEO, Economic Systems Limited. Mr. Sapra carries his experience of over 30 years in the field of water treatment. He started his professional career with India's largest water treatment company, that is Ion Exchange Limited, and served them for 4 years. Then he moved to 2 leading US MNCs and CUNO and Structural Pentair Corporation, and served for a period of, 8 years in each company. In the year 2005, Shri Sapraji, he co-promoted Economic Systems. And when we talk about economic systems, it's a diversified company with competencies in the field of water and wastewater technology. Managed by a group of leading water professionals, technologists, and engineers, the vision of the company is to be reliable single point resource for products, technologies, and services for water treatment and water handling industry. A well-known personality in water industry in India and in the overseas markets, Mr. Sapra has contributed in several fields related to this industry. So, ladies and gentlemen, join me in extending a very warm welcome to Shri Sanjay Sapra and Shri Anil MANOCHA ji. With these words, I hand you over to Mr. Anil MANOCHA ji.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to our next series on water. Today, we are holding our 12th webinar series. We started this series from 23rd October, and from 23rd October onwards, every Friday, we are discussing various subjects and topics. Picture what you see today. Today, we'll be talking mostly on domestic reverse osmosis systems, and Sanjay will be talking and taking the lead a bit later. Just to brief all of us, because a lot of you must have joined lately, or you must not be following all the webinars. So far we had close to 13 webinars. We had 15 international speakers and speakers from India. And if you put together the cumulative experience of all the speakers, they have contributed more than 250 years in water business. We talked about the issues of water availability. And when we talked about the issues of water availability on this planet, we talked about the surface water in the form of rivers, in the form of lakes. We talked about seawater. We talked about glaciers. We talked about underground water. And we dwelled on all these water issues. We talked about their uses. We also mentioned and we made our participants aware that most of the water which is fit for our consumption, human consumption, is either a surface water or a underground water. And majority of this surface water and underground water is used for domestic, industrial, and agriculture sector. And if we further dive it down to agriculture sector and India, India consumes more than 80% of the fresh water available in agriculture sector. And when we look at the total water available and we look at agriculture as the major consumer of water, we realize that a lot need to be done to improve the efficiency and to see that how much water can be made available to all of us. We also talked about new emerging sources to supplement fresh water, as we hear every day that there's a water shortage and the water is not good. And so a lot of new emerging sources with the technological interface are coming. We talked about that. We also touched the subjects of water contamination in rivers, canals, ponds, water bodies, groundwater. We talked about industrial pollution, which is created by man. We also talked about natural pollution in water. We also talked that industrial pollution in agriculture sector is because of fertilizers use, also because of untreated sewage discharge. Uh, we also touched upon the international standards for drinking water. We touched on the international standards for disposal of wastewater to the river streams. We also talked about the treatment concepts and technologies. We talked how we can regenerate the water bodies. While regenerating water bodies, we talked about the natural solutions based on ecological principles, life sciences, and we talked about the solutions which relates to chemistry and engineering. Then we touched upon the issues of water uses in agriculture sector. It's a primary consumer. We talked about the how to boost the agriculture efficiency by offering certain food processing options. And we also talked about water as a mode of transport, recreation, and learning. We also talked about later on the water management aspect of this complete water issues. We touched upon the concepts of circular economy, which bring the issues of reuse, recycling of water. And then we talked about the 5 R's of our water: respect water, relate water, reuse water, recycle water, and reduce water demand. We also brought to our participants the issues, international issues, the countries which faced, like issues in Cape Town, South Africa, how this issue was addressed and how the water problem was solved. So we talked about that. We also talked about Singapore water story, and we also drew learnings from each of these case studies. Then we had a speaker who talked about the water technologies for home water systems, use of glass bottles, minimizing the use of single plastic bottles, and also we touched upon career opportunities in water sector and water education. So we have so far, since 23rd October, have covered so much in the areas of water, with relates to availability of water, supply side of water, with respect to demand of water, and with respect to water management, and also with respect to case studies. Uh, to make it happen, we had various international speakers. This is a profile of speakers from various countries like United Kingdom, like Malaysia, USA, Singapore, Philippines, and India. So we all these speakers have contributed voluntarily to make all of us aware about what is happening in the water sector globally and what could be the learning. And we also uh, posted all these webinars on YouTube. These are the links of all the webinars which has been done so far. If anybody is interested, he can go back after the presentation, click to a link and see and watch whatever they want to learn. Whatever we have spoken is all covered here. Now, let us today see how you as a participant, a common person who is consuming water, can contribute in water journey and how all of you can take part. So I will talk about few points. We all should be aware that solving water issue is not a quick fix. It requires a long-term commitment. All of us also should be aware what India is doing to address the water issues. We should know what Ministry of Jal Shakti is doing. We also be aware that if we can manage the water by reducing the gap between water supply and water demand, we will be able to address the major issues of water shortage. We should also be aware that total quantity of water our planet has never changed. It has remained same. Only thing is we have today more of good water, more of bad water and less of good water. And if we can reduce the bad water and make good water more, we should be able to bridge the gap between demand and supply, and we will be able to come out of whatsoever we call it as a water crisis. We should also be sensitive enough to respect and relate water to our day-to-day life. And whenever we do that, we have to start young. Please inculcate the habit among your children on proper use of water. Interact with subject experts who can sensitize the people on managing water and by bringing case studies. We have talked about Cape Town, South Africa, Singapore, Israel, and taken examples within India. But within India, if also you Google, you will find there are over more than 100 water heroes who have contributed in uplifting the status of people and addressing the issues in by properly creating the awareness and showcasing success stories. So in India also a lot of people are working in water sector and we should draw a learning from them. We should also understand what type of technologies are needed for homes, what why we should not use plastics, what is the technology available for glass bottle for recycling, and how we can save water by using efficient devices like taps, wash basins, washing machines, smart meters, etc. Any small beginning we make will help us in consuming the water. And in order for all of us to do that, at ICSI, we can support in whatever form you like. If you have certain concerns, please raise it to us. We'll try to bring the subject experts. We will share the success stories. We will talk about the opportunities. And also we are working towards relating water with education and seeing how it can address and bring less constraint on the water resource. And there are so many things you can at ICSE we are planning to do. Now, in today's talk, we have Mr. Sanjay Sapra. Sanjay is my very close friend. We have been in this industry for last 30 years, and we have been always like we sleep and get up with water. See, we only talk water all the time. So he will be talking on a very important subject today, which is domestic reverse osmosis plants, whether it's a curse or a cure. So with this, I would like to end my presentation and hand over to Sanjay to take this forward. So over to you, Sanjay.
Mute. That's the mistake we always do. Now I'm unmuted.
Ah,
Thank you, Anil. Thank you, Dr. Saab. Truly appreciate your kind words, encouraging words. More than that, I would even like to thank Dr. Saab and Anil for the commendable job and truly appreciable, I must say, in creating awareness, particularly touching the subject which is so important, which has always been important but never got its due recognition. But yes, we all today realize we are much aware, much more aware and intelligent today to understand how important this very, very important resource is. And it requires serious thought and introspection, particularly in areas which are related to conservation, recycling, reuse, responsible use, and how to be careful towards water, which I would be very emphatic in saying we were not so far. Having said that, I know there are various aspects of responsible use of water, water conservation, which is more of a topic as you move forward. Several important aspects of water have already been covered by the distinguished organization, which is for a water professional, it's very heartening. Uh, my personal strength has been water and only water. That's what I have done all my life and nothing more than that. Ever since I passed out as a young chemical engineer from UDCT Punjab, Ion Exchange, as Anil said, and then a few kind of spent a couple of decades with the multinationals when the wise sense prevailed that am I going to devote my entire life to multinationals or do something for my own country? When I started this small, humble attempt of a made in India company, joining hands with none other than the best Indian water treatment company. Today, I am very happy, very proud that yes, to a large extent, there has been a certain contributions like introduction of FRP, non-corrosive material in the Indian water industry, working on special applications of filtrations of water and process systems, and definitely contributing in my humble way on desalination and its application in the various industry, in the water industry. Desalination use over the years spread out into various applications, and one of them which entered into great, I would say, use with a lot of fervor in the country is the domestic RO. And over the years, without realizing, I felt that this domestic RO has been used in a very irresponsible manner, which makes me feel as a water professional to feel that it has been more of a curse than possibly a cure. People might have a different of opinion. All my very, very important friends are in this business. So I would like to say this presentation, if at all, is to address a concern and not point fingers at any specific organization for the commercial aspects and the business which they do. Uh, if at all I'm speaking, let me share with them. It is what I feel as a water professional, and domestic RO membrane is a part of my commercial sales. It hurts with my thought process, but so be it. As a water professional, I would like to speak my heart out. Having said that, it is important for me to share some statistics with you people on this particular specific subject, the water conservation, use of water, water harvesting. I have contributed in many areas, but today I would definitely touch base only on the aspects of domestic RO, whether it is a curse or a cure, and not go out to the industrial side of it, which we can discuss, or possibly many other speakers would have already spoken about it. So I would just start to share my screen and take you people to a brief presentation, which will give you a little bit more insight. Stop my video, not unmute myself, because I think I need to be speaking and you need to be hearing. So a brief presentation. Domestic RO, as all of you know, gentlemen, is the home RO, which we all use for drinking water application. And today it has become kind of a standard, whether it is a lifestyle standard, whether it is to provide you the tasty water, whether it is to provide you a water which we all consider is to be safest and purest. To a certain extent, yes, and to a certain extent, no, debatable. We can take questions if required, or possibly answer to it as the panel might deem fit. So, starting my presentation, I would like to take you people first on a brief agenda and try to keep the presentation as brief as possible and as interesting and engaging as possible. I will touch base on the Indian water crisis, the RO membrane technology in short, problems we face with the point of use applications, RO purifier, technology drivers, RO water wastage, and the ban, and in the recent times, the advent of NGT and MOEF, who have finally got up and realized that how RO is basically turning out to be a curse if we don't take the corrective measures, and which they have thankfully started to do so, giving people like us a satisfaction that yes, there would be stricter laws against the misuse of water with the RO. So Then I will conclude with my suggestion on RO, a boon or a bane, and a way moving forward, and then conclude the presentation. It's important to know, particularly if we are going to be so decisive in our presentations and so emphatic, that is the crisis really bad? Let's touch some basic points to come to know what we are, where we are, and where we can move forward. The many dimensions of water crisis, some implications, and to see how much water we have. Do we really have enough to be irresponsible towards this scarce water resource? Uh, Over 1,000 get affected each day from water-related diseases. So yes, we need to have purified water. We have the right to safe drinking water, and every possible citizen in a country has the right to. So this is given, and there is no compromise on that. How do we reach to that goal? It is true that annually close to about 40 million Indians are affected by waterborne diseases. 1.5 million children die due to diarrhea, and 73 million working days are lost, which is a huge, huge fiscal burden on the country, amounting to close to $600 million a year. Waterborne diseases, as we all know, cholera, acute diarrheal diseases, typhoids, viral hepatitis, we have been struggling and fighting with them. Unfortunately, the most uninvited guest has also knocked our doors, like it has done the entire world. And so we are fighting with the pandemic also, along with this, which we have been fighting day in and day out. Uttar Pradesh, one of the states here, has recorded the highest deaths due to the diarrhea, following West Bengal, Assam, Orissa, and Madhya Pradesh, the states which have a very poor record on safe drinking water. A small picture on the left side of your screen says it all. I really do not have to expand much on it. This is how still in some water-starved villages in our country, our women line up to get the water for the day. Certainly looks extremely sad, but that is the reality. It's a water-stressed, Indians are water-stressed people. We have to understand that. The per capita water availability in this country was close to about 5,000 cubic meters in 2011. The census figures came down to 1545, a decline of 70% on a per capita availability of usable water in 60 years. And this annual water availability now is less than 1,700 cubic meters. If it is less than 1,700, it's declared as a water-stressed condition. And scarcity means if you're dropping close to about 1,000 cubic meters per person. The average annual per capita water availability in 2001 was, as you saw, 1,820. And the government estimates that this may reduce further to 1,341 cubic meters by the year 2025, and possibly by the year we go to 2050, we will travel from a water-stressed nation to a water-scarce nation. So we need to take corrective measures in all aspects of responsible use of water now, and not wait for it till the time we get from a stressed situation to a scarce situation. Let's learn from Johannesburg. Let's learn from those places where even our own country, we have had cities which almost are inching in close to water scarce and water dry cities. Chennai being one of them, as you all are fully aware of it. How does water scarcity compare to other global threats? Important to know that. The 2016 World Economic Forum, global risk of highest concern for the next 10 years. Now we all say with unison that yes, it is the water crisis. Ahead of climate change, the food crisis, the migration issues, weapons of mass destruction, it is water now which is on the forefront, which possibly is the risk of highest concern today. The global issues, we don't have to be too intelligent to understand. The issue certainly, first of all, is the availability. So too little water leading to droughts at many places. Too much, our country faces both the too little and the too much. In either circumstances, we face the calamity. When we see floods during the monsoon time in many parts of the country, too dirty, pollution, we struggle with that also. It's too heavy, hard to transport, that's a fact. So we have to ensure that we have the availability of water decentralized and available at most of the location. Wrong location, not where the people are, you get water. Where people are, we don't have water. And it is not well managed, not well allocated, and many governance issues, which certainly includes the financing, pricing, and to a certain extent corruption also. also. So a lot of issues have to be addressed, gentlemen, isn't it? Just a few photographs, pictorial representation of unfortunate situation with water in our country. You can see someone fetching water from not a very clean resource, someone washing their laundry, not with a very clean water, and then you see the animals and the people, particularly you're pumping water out of Allahabad, India. When we saw this, I was very moved by this photograph that in a slimy green deposited water, we are pumping out water in that particular location for use, for the domestic use. A little bit I would like to share with the audience here on the population distribution in India. The chart is very simple, how there is a migration which is also impacting the use of water. Way back in 2000, it was a 28% urban and 72% rural population. The per capita consumption universally is definitely 18 to 20% higher in urban location as compared to the rural. And unfortunately, our urban population now over the year has grown to about 36%, expected to go up to 39%. And 61 would be the rural, as clearly indicating the large population base shifting to the urban. This significant shift with millions shifting to the urban area, the consumption levels are bound to increase manifold. As this population moves to higher income brackets, they will consume 2 to 3 times more. And the affordability allows you to go and use those technologies which definitely are not water friendly, but are particularly wasting too much of water today. Water demand projections. Here you would see, even if you see the segmentization of water, definitely the highest use continues to be in irrigation, where they presently in our country, 45% of use in 2000 was from ground level water, and now presently it is 51%. Domestic also, we have 34 billion cubic meters of consumption, which will go up to 101 by 2050, where 50% of it is presently taken from the ground resources. Industrial, 42 billion cubic meters will go to 161 by 2050 as is projected, where 30% of it is fed from the groundwater. So that is the way. There's some resources which are clear indication that why we need to be extremely responsible in case we do not want to face a calamity for which we will not have a solution as much as just about 5 to 10 years down the line. So India's water resource, increasing relative water scarcity, 4% of the world's renewable water resource, 2% of the global landmass, and 17 to 18% of the global population. Not a very comfortable statistics. So the water per capita requirement in the country is very high. And today we are ranked poor 50th in the country as far as the allocated resource per capita from a depleting resource which we need to protect under any circumstances. High climate variability also leads to this, adds to the woe for water conservation. We are not able to tap the monsoon water, we're not able to tap the rainwater, which also has to be a drive, a very serious, dedicated, and a result-driven drive on the water conservation through water harvesting by various ways and means. High spatial variability, influence of Himalayas on the monsoon. So these are the topics. Slowly shifting to RO membrane technology, which is the topic of the day. Yes, I feel proud that I have been a part of the RO membranes and its introduction in the country from way back when I joined as a young engineer in '86. The first plants were coming up in the country being installed, where RO was found to be the best solution for water with high TDS, high salinity, and converted into good processed water, sweet drinking water. And we as water professionals were extremely encouraged that this is a technology which has perhaps the brightest future. Undoubtedly so, in many applications today also, it is an unchallenged game changer in the water industry. But in many cases, we found that the use was pushed to those applications which led to the same technology, which was a boon, starting out to be a curse. Game changer when the cellulose acetate membranes were shifting to thin film composite membranes, which were introduced in 1980s. Industrial and domestic pure water applications took off in the late 1980s. And there have been membrane advancements to give you more water with low energy, higher efficient membranes. But I am saddened to say and to honestly admit that not much innovation R&D has been done on the domestic RO membranes, which produce very little water, good water, and reject most of the water. We'll come to it as we proceed further in our presentation. A little bit just to give you an insight, RO membrane technology, the problem with point of use applications. How can, it's definitely a question which people might want to kind of ask. How is it possible that one technology can be of such a use for industrial applications, where we find that this is perhaps one of the most innovative technologies, and the advent of the same in the water industry can turn out to be such a curse for the domestic? Yes, it's a fact. As we move forward, we need to understand how possibly in India, because of the lack of laws, because of the lack of usage, lack of understanding, lack of awareness, this domestic RO, which could have been used more responsibly, was used practically for all applications and all solutions, which led to a lot of water wastage, continues to be so till the time we all water professionals rise, people who are involved in the business rise and shine and understand how it has to be sold in a very responsible manner to save water. There would be certain revealing statistics which I'll share with you people to substantiate my point. Okay. Industry, as you all understand, when you use RO, the efficiencies of the membranes have gone up to from 30% to right up to 70, 80. Then we recycle and reuse, the reject fixation, the reject use, gone to the extent of zero liquid discharge. So on the industrial side, we know how to save water, use and meet the application demands. But on the domestic side, we practically waste 75 to 80% of water. For every liter of water which we drink, we are practically throwing down the drain 4 to 5 liters of a very expensive, municipally treated, good water being given to us. We drink only 20% of it and throw down the drain. In a very poor country like India, 80% down the drain, which is not recoverable, goes down as an absolute waste. That unfortunately is the story of the domestic RO. RO membrane technology, the problem with the point of use application, is very energy intensive. It uses pumps to push water through the membranes. Removal of beneficial minerals. Yes, this is also a fact that if your water which is being provided to you is of reasonably good quality, say less than 500 TDS, you end up drinking mineral-starved water, which is as low as 10 or 15 ppm water, as close as distilled water, and you remove all the minerals from the water. Of late, responsible organizations, without taking name, have realized this and have started working on blending, started working on recycling so that the wastage is less and the water has adequate minerals, but not all. 70 to 75% of this domestic RO going from various organizations, grey market, unscrupulous sellers today are just using 10% of the water and rejecting 90% of the water. So, and then possible clogging of the membrane, which leads to the woe of discarding and disposal of membranes, which is another problem. And yet at the same time, when the membrane clogs, your recovery of water gets even lesser than that. I have some statistics regarding that also. So as we move forward, gentlemen, RO membrane technology, the problem with point of use application. So you would see that in RO membranes, in the point of use, reverse osmotic water does not have minerals. Most of it basically is starved till the time you use it for a water which is very high on TDS, say 500 and above, 1000, 1500. Then you get possibly 5%, 3%, 2% of minerals left in the water. Rest of it is removed to make it sweet water. Reverse osmosis doesn't hydrate as well as alkaline water. It's a known fact that if water is starved, it would definitely lead to less hydration, which is important for the body. Reverse osmosis is wasteful. Already touched on that yes, for every liter, you end up draining almost 3 to 4 liters down the drain. Some of the recent ones have started reusing and blending of water, but not all. 75% of the domestic RO which is being sold in the countries today also is an extremely wasteful unit, which is throwing good water, which is filtered 4 to 5 times. Municipality supplies you after treating it. You filter it 4 to 5 times, then throw it down the drain. Couldn't be more stupid than that. Rivers osmosis waste more water than they produce. Established facts. Reason for more wastage, life of system, and reason for more wastage is the memory recovery rate. As I told you right in the beginning, a lot of R&D on the industrial RO for higher recovery, more flow by the use of less energy, but unfortunately, not much of R&D on the domestic RO membranes, as it is considered to be a commodity product which can be changed since it costs less, but the cost which we are paying by the misuse of water is far more than the cost of the membrane, gentlemen. I'm sure each one of you understand that. Moving forward, just to give you an idea, I haven't used the names. These are all established statistics. Brand A, brand B, brand C, brand D. These are all different brands who are selling these membranes by using the best of the film stars to help them to sell these products, best of the marketing gimmicks to help them sell their products. Unfortunately, bigger companies have followed the route of numbers, commercial gains, and selling as much as they can. And somewhere in the race of selling more RO units and talk in terms of CAGR of 17% growth and 20% growth, they forgot that they have a responsibility of saving water also. You know, a brand new system, if it produces 3 gallons, after a year it will produce waste 5 gallons, and after 2 years it will waste 8 gallons. And after 3 years, when the membrane chokes, it wastes 20 to 25 gallons. This is just based on how much water you are taking from it, and this is the water which it is wasting today at an average. There are most of the units today now they have realized it is very, very important. When our government has got up and realized, the NGT has got up and realized, and the ban on the RO has started to take place, particularly for commercial applications, for domestic applications, where the TDS is 500 and less. The day I read that NGT notice on the newspaper, trust me, gentlemen, I was a very happy person, because I've been talking about this for the last 10 years and using every possible platform to get up and try to make people realize that RO is being dumped into our country by China. RO is being sold for the commercial benefits, but not being sold responsibly, which is hurting my nation. I was very, very happy when NGT took the decision. It would have hurt the interest of many people. So be it. But in the long term, it is a good move. That is the way I feel. But of course, NGT needs to tweak that a little bit, because those applications and those bans, if they come into the industry, we do not have a viable alternative. The moment we have a viable alternative to RO, in the domestic use, less than 500, when the water is being treated by the municipality, we certainly have lot of point of use solutions, and domestic RO government can now take a decision of even going ahead and taking a bold step of banning it at TDS less than 500. It will be certainly a very bold step, but we water professionals feel there's enough justification to ban RO at less than 500 ppm. 80% of the water supplied by the municipal in the country, wherever it supplies, is less than 500. And the irony and the dichotomy is that 80% of the RO being used in the country is being used with the municipal water. And that's a reality. Growing awareness about the waterborne diseases, government initiatives, of course, now I would say that yes, initiatives are on the right direction. Rampant urbanization is leading to the mushrooming of this domestic RO, booming industrialization, ease of imports, lower duties, dumping by China. Many points I can talk how RO has invaded this country, and we did not check it. I hope we do it before it's too late. In my flow, I have spoken, and so maybe some slide could be repetitive, gentlemen. Bear with me, please. How much RO membrane technology, how much water is wasted? It depends on your specific filter and the level of impurities in your water. You will need two figures to work it out. The permeate flow, how many gallons of purified water per minute is your filter pumping out, and the feed flow. So when you divide the feed flow by the permeate flow and divide by 100, you get the percentage recovery. You will eventually come to know for the domestic applications, you can calculate at your home. There is a small reject line. You can see how much water goes out of that and how much water is produced, which we drink. You don't have to be too intelligent to find out. You will be embarrassed to know that for every 1 liter of water which you produce, drink, and put it in a refrigerator and feel very happy about, you put 4 liters down the drain, gentlemen. An average RO purifier wastes approximately 3 to 4 liters of water for every liter. This means only 20% of the water is purified. If you do it with a water which has no other alternative, very high, brackish, जिसको हम हिंदी में कहते हैं कि पानी बहुत खारा है, मुंह पे हम रख तक नहीं सकते, उसके लिए मैं मान सकता हूं कि आरओ आज के दिन में एक सॉल्यूशन हो, लेकिन जब पानी आपको म्युनिसिपैलिटी साफ करके और 500 पीपीएम से करके दे रही है, तो उससे नीचे आरओ लगाना, अगर मैं कहूं कि ये पाप है, तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि मैं कुछ गलत कह रहा. Moving forward, gentlemen, RO membrane technology, why RO must be banned? Extremely low recovery, already shared with you guys. Rampant use of RO purifiers for applications where TDS is less than 500. Eliminates the basic salts and minerals from the water, making it a little bit of a starved water, which of course is not good. We need to have at least close to about 50 plus TDS or 100. And some people enjoy even higher TDS, like your, I would say, spring fresh water, spring fresh mineral water. Evians and Danons have 250. The spring fresh distillery has 250 TDS. And so certainly that depends on individual tastes also. But water which is less than 500 is safe for drinking. We all know that. WHO specifies that. So there is no debate on that. Water waste calculus in some home purifiers. Now this again highlights a couple of very interesting facts. You will find that in every house at an average drains maybe 100 liters, 80 liters, average 45 liters, to an established conservative statistics of 45 million domestic RO already installed in Indian homes, growing at a rate of 15 to 20% every year, and 80% of them using municipal water, are practically, a family is wasting 16,200 liters per a family of 4. That is the level of water. If you multiply this figure with a 45 million installation base, gentlemen, you will be shocked to know that we are draining as much as 1 in 4 homes in urban India, which relies on a water purifier with a 45 million installation base from 2015 to 2019. And close to 75% of the RO purifiers are installed in the urban area where we get the scarce municipal water, even in semi-urban cities, and where the water supply to you is less than 500 ppm TDS. It's a criminal waste. The total waste amounts to 2025 million liters a day. Just to give you another statistics, which could be an eye-opener, that today the total capex is 25 billion rupee, close to 2,500 crores for the installation of a plant of the size of 2025 MLD. So that is the level of gross wastage. The small, little, innocuous looking, simple looking RO unit is causing harm to the country today. RO membrane technology, why RO must be banned? This concern came up for hearing by the National Green Tribunal last year. A lot of people took up this subject with them. I had an opportunity on a couple of meetings. Last year, directed the Union Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change to issue notification prohibiting the use of drinking water prepared through the RO-based systems in areas where the dissolved solids was less than 500 ppm. That exactly was needed. So steps have been taken in that direction, gentlemen. The entity also ordered the ministry to lay down a rule to ensure that recovery of treated water is at least 60% in RO-based system where there is no other alternative and the TDS levels are high. And more than 40% should go to brine or waste. It said the recovery rate should go up to 75% in near future. I believe they have put in here 2 years or a 3-year time period. The tribunal in its order mentioned that more than 16 crore Indians have no access to clean water. Now, this is the highest number of such population in the world, and the amount of water we are draining can meet this requirement of 16 crore Indians who are not able to drink water today, safe water. Yeah. The central government has drawn up plans. The central government has drawn up plans to ban the use of membrane-based water purification systems, primary reverse osmosis systems in areas where the source of water meets the Indian Bureau of Standards or the WHO, with the specifications are by and large similar. Draft notification of NGD order due for the indiscriminate use of RO resulting in huge wastage of water, and to comply with the NGT's order of recovering 75% of water by 2022. Yes, 2 years. RO manufacturers can only supply home purification system that waste no more than 25% of the water. So I'm sure with government putting a little bit more teeth in its laws for water conservation, organizations will be left with little choice, and the responsible companies, of course, I'm 100% sure, like Eureka Forbes, Kentaro, Ion Exchange, Unilever definitely will spare no efforts to ensure that they comply with it, and they come out with the units which are wasting less than 25% water and are able to deliver water with the adequate minerals and meet the safe water drinking standards, yet at the same time feel happy that they are not wasting water. System must be able to inform consumer also the TDS levels in the inlet and the outlet, so that the consumer are also aware and they feel happy and socially responsible that they are not wasting water. Just a little bit of sharing on the water, what we can drink, what we cannot. Less than 200 ppm, yes we can. RO is not required. Alternatives are UV, UF, boiling water, resin treatment if required. So there are various processes available. RO is not required, cannot be used, should not be used until a doctor says for some medical reasons, which some people were arguing on those grounds. I fail to understand why. On 200 to 500 ppm, all other chemical parameters within IS limits, then in that case also RO not desirable. Alternative technologies are good enough, as I have highlighted earlier. So the first two column itself is 70% of the water available for drinking. Gentlemen, we forget one point, which is very important to note, that the drinking water requirement for a human consumption is not more than, even for food application, even for preparing your own food and for your drinking application, not more than 2 to 4% of your total water requirement. Bathing, car wash, horticulture, laundry is where we can use water with high TDS anyway. And at the same time, I can say even this RO, if it is used, one should responsibly use the reject for all other non-critical applications, for which it's a very good water which has gone through 4 stages of filtration, and it's only the sweet water which you can possibly keep for drinking. So up to 500, when there is a solution, why waste water? Why act as irresponsible citizen in a water scarce country, which is going to be water starved country? Let's contribute towards it and not use water in an irresponsible manner. So the way moving forward, the way I feel it, one solution is to run the reject stream back into the filter. Some companies are doing it. We are very happy to note that. But this can cause damage as we are steadily increasing the impurities in water, which is going to damage the membrane, which again, it has a multiple kind of problems. The way to reduce water waste is to simply put your reject water to the good use. Use it for other applications, mopping, car wash, water your garden, dishwashing, toilet washing, bathing pets. All of them as 95% use. Why put stress on the very, very, I would say, precious resource, which is the sweet water? So, conclusion, many urban homes have started making the switch to RO filters for their daily consumption. It is much needed shift to create awareness so that use RO, if at all, above 500, but responsibly. Recycle and reuse the brine coming out or the reject water coming out of it, and the three methods can limit water wastage to a great extent. By conserving the expelled waste, your eco-friendly move may help you to save water up to 4 lives. Brands are continually working on bringing innovative technologies to control the problem of water wastage. They should continue to invest in the R&D. In the meantime, we can follow these simple, basic, useful ways of how to reuse RO wastewater. The easiest solution always exists at home, and even a small step that you can take can certainly have a huge impact. Gentlemen, this is a thought which I had on domestic RO. I apologize in front of all of you if I have been a little caustic. Intention was not that. Intention was very straight and simple, that this is how I feel and this is how I talk. People in the industry know me, so they will acknowledge and understand. I have been responsible in the sale of domestic RO, in the introduction and bringing domestic RO to India. For that, I apologize to all of you. I wish I had known. I would have never done that in my life. Gentlemen, with that, I would like to say thank you, everyone, to patiently listening to me. And any questions, I'll be too happy to take now or at a later date, with my communication details and coordinates very clearly mentioned on the last slide. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, MANOCHA ji.
Yes.
Anil, MANOCHA ji, you got to take on the journey forward, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Sanjay, for giving such a nice, crisp presentation and sensitizing the audiences on the use of water and especially the misuse of RO technology. Now, if we have to sum up the presentation, we should view from various angles. One angle is the economic angle, where our country is moving from $1.7 trillion to $5 trillion. And when we do that, you are going to have urban mitigation, you are going to have urban population moving in from 35% to 55% to 65%, which is the international norm. And if also we look into this, the major contributor for GDP growth will be industry, and less and little less from agriculture. So service industry and agriculture will be major contributor. Means what? The water consumption and water growth will increase. So that is the fact. It is also the fact that reverse osmosis is an option which was introduced to us in year 1980. There has been a technological transformation from 80s to 2020, where the recovery rate improved drastically. And also, the water technologists are working towards a lot of disruptive technologies, that how we can make it more efficient. So RO has a role to play, but definitely not in the domestic sector. In domestic sector, we have to use it only on a prescription based application, like less than 500, as Sanjay said, is very clear. At the same time, most of us who are not from water industry get frightened when we see pictures and when we know the targets that so many people are dying of disease, so many economies lost, so many mandates. What's to do? Then by force we end up in installing RO plant. So a lot of awareness in alternative technologies which can conserve water. At the same time, it can give you a guard towards disease is welcome. So as a water industry professional, or as a ICSI platform, or as a education platform, we must educate people that instead of RO, you can use so many other technologies to conserve water. So few points which came very clearly, that we have to conserve water so that we make water available for our growth of our country. And globally, when the population is moving from 6.5 billion now to 9 billion by 2050, to almost double by end of the century, there will be a lot of stress. So a lot of efforts are required in maximizing or increasing the efficiency, recycling of water, and all those things. So probably whatever Sanjay has said is a direction towards conserving water, direction towards using RO only when it is necessary. It is not the first uh, choice to me. It could be my third or fourth choice when I have exploited the other choices. So with this multiple use of technologies, improvements in RO, disease, recycling, economic growth, it's a complex jungle which we have to solve. And by proper education, by proper direction to people, I think we'll overcome that slowly. So we always say water is not a simple solution. You need to have a social aspect towards it, you need to have a technological aspect towards it, you need to have awareness aspect towards it, and so many things, and very clearly, if we start following what probably Cape Town did, or what Singapore did, a bit of that, and what our water heroes are doing in India, we will be able to jointly solve this problem. With this, I will say thank you to Sanjay, and I will hand over this to Gulshan ji. Gulshan ji,
Thank
for
you.
you.
Thank you very much, Anil Manocha ji. First of all, Sanjay Sapra Saab, it's a mind blowing. I found it so interesting and so captivating.
Thank you so much.
I would say the whole presentation which you have given, and I wish to share with all our brothers and sisters across the world that 13th of January is a Lohri festival for Punjabis,
Yes.
and there is a Punjabi Parvasi Divas. And we have got 13 different sectors being discussed on that particular day. And one of the important sector we have taken is the water management strategies. And we would be talking specifically to pertaining to Punjab. We would be taking more examples related to Punjab. Of course, broader perspective for universe will remain, for India will remain. but we are going to talk on more specific solutions and everything related to that on 13th of January. This is going to be 27th Punjabi Parvasi Divas. And Anil MANOCHA ji has got a dual responsibility because our former president for this chamber, he was also from Singapore, Karan Singh Thakral, and present president also comes from ASEAN. Again, is your dual responsibility because he's from Thailand. And as the world is moving, because you will have a confluence of global people from world over, we are trying to get in, and we could invite Sanjay Sapraji also on 13th. I think because my friend Sapra is a Punjabi, so Punjabis are getting together on a common platform for celebration, deliberation, jubilation, congratulations, and Revdi and Mumfli together on a happy Lodi. So that is the day we will be talking about water management strategies as well. And whatsoever best we can do for the universe, all of us, we will get together on that platform.
Sure.
So with these words, we are conveying our deep gratitudes and thanks to you. Although this is Anil Manocha ji's baby and his show, but I'm taking a liberty to convey my deep gratitudes and thanks on behalf of our chamber, on behalf of everybody. And it was something wonderful. I would say
Thank you.
I enjoyed each and every slide and each and every word of yours, and the way you conveyed it was like a professor taking a lecture in a university in Harvard or Stanford or Wharton, because the way it was coming, it was something very, very interesting and very catchy. The other day we enjoyed Singapore water management strategies from Nishta also. That was too good. And a couple of other, what you have given me. Yes, that Malaysia, that lady who had come, that was also wonderful insight which I got. So I am a humble student. I am trying to learn how to save every drop of water. Two of the joint secretaries from the ministry also joined today for this program. I'm so grateful to them. I'm so thankful to them. And a couple of other important dignitaries who joined today. I'm deeply grateful to them for this particular series. So once again, Happy New Year and wonderful days ahead to all of us. And look forward to, because our next, of course, every Friday evening we have got a regular program of ours at 5 p.m. But on 13th we are having a special program, and we invite all of you because we would be sharing a couple of concerns and areas which are there, which are ranging from education, skills, and MSMEs, and water management strategies, and cultural heritage. And there was a topic which has been given to me today. There's another program coming up in a very big way on that particular program, which Punjabis are sharing all the way. Social responsibility, Punjab of my dreams, Punjab of my memories, me and my land Punjab, my cultural identity with Punjab, and let us save Punjab from lots of ecological related issues. There are a couple of things coming up on 13th of January, so we extend a very warm welcome. Thank you very much, Sapraji.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you very much, Anil Manocha ji. It's always great learning from all of you.